Happy Monday.
Look how happy you are.
Yeah. It's
In stark contrast to our actual life.
wah wah. I know. Yeah, no, I am happy. I'm always happy to see you guys. Good morning, John. I saw Pam in your new house. This is fantastic. Yeah, lots of exciting things happening. Hi, Gina. Good morning. And I have to say hi to Susan and to Maddie. Maddie is watching us. I don't think he understands who I am or what I'm saying, but good morning to Maddie. So good morning, everybody. Allie is here. Good morning, Allie. Geraint is here. Good morning. All in all, it's a good morning. Woke up a little earlier than I wanted to. Sorry, cat's running around behind us. Had a good weekend. We had a lot going on. But before we get going too much into it, I just don't want to forget, because we've had so much activity. Oh, and you know what? I still forgot the Horizon t-shirt. Shoot. It's in my closet. It's gray. It's kind of up above the jewelry area. So the past couple of weeks, obviously, we've been a little preoccupied with baby getting with the grandbabies and sharing all of that news, which we'll still continue to share. But there's a couple of other big things that we kind of forgot to mention. And I kind of started out dancing, which is appropriate, because if you or your children or grandchildren or nieces, nephews, friends, family, whomever has ever taken dance, you know that is near and dear to my heart. That's something that I grew up with. My mother grew up dancing. She owned her own dance studio. I started dancing when I was 2. I was in a tiny 2-year-old class, and then danced my entire life up until I moved to Florida. So I taught, or I had took classes at my mother's studio. I went off and performed professionally for several years, which is where I met Eric. And then I had my own studio for 22 years in Virginia. Did you find it? That's okay. Don't worry about it. And then obviously when I came here, I don't really like to talk about it a lot, because it is the one trigger that will get me like sobbing like a baby. So we're not going to talk about me and my dance. We're going to talk about all of you and the fact that it is recital season for so many of you, and our dear, dear, dear friends, Jennifer and Daryl Ross and the whole Ross family. You don't know them, but you should be very, very, very grateful to them, because they're the whole reason I started doing videos. True story. When we moved here from Virginia, the company that Eric was working for was looking for someone who had essentially the same skill set that Eric had, because his skill set, I'm gonna toot your horn, baby. He's amazing. Like the sheer volume of talent this man has is ridiculous.
It's fine. I agree.
Yeah. By the way, his camera's not working today, so
there's my skill. My skill level is I can't even get a camera turned on.
Technological difficulties. That's okay. That's okay. No worries. He can always pop around behind me. He says no, but I'm like, well, why not? I can share the screen with you. Oh God, see, we asked for it anyway. He's here. But anyway, so the company he was working for was looking for someone with Eric's same diverse skill set. And we're like, we know that person. We absolutely know who that person is. And his name is Daryl Ross. And at the time, I think he was just moving because there were some shift changes and some I can't remember now exactly what it was, but there were some questions in where Daryl was currently employed. So we're like, hey, so we had just moved into our brand new home. And I started doing videos of the other homes in our neighborhood that the builder was building and trying to encourage them to move here. So that is the actual story of how the videos and YouTube and my real estate career actually started, was to get them here. Anyway, his beautiful wife, so Daryl and I and Eric all used to perform together. So we were all performers, musical theater, singer, dancers. His gorgeous wife, Jen, was a Vegas dancer, also well-trained, gorgeous. Just ignore the chaos of the pets behind us. But anyway, so his gorgeous wife Jen, they actually both performed in Vegas for quite a while, but now she's been here. By the way, the videos worked. She moved here. They moved here. They're a beautiful family, and she has a dance program here locally in Horizon West for the elementary school age students. And she teaches at several of the schools, a few of the amenity centers, and she just had her big recital a couple weeks ago, but we failed to mention it just because we were in the middle of babyness. But so she had her recital at Horizon High School Her studio is called Let's Dance, and again, she kind of travels to the different schools and amenity centers. So it's a great way for for the local community kids to be able to have that. We sponsored the Recital program. There you go. You're getting a sneak peek. Susan Forsgren, are you looking? Are you looking? Because that is me when I was 3. I think I was 3 that year. So this is our, like, no joke. Like that's actually me. Long time ago. And then we also did their t-shirts. This is their t-shirt. They gave us one. And then the back of it is so nice because we got the little sponsorship. I can't do this. There you go. Sponsorship. And I can't find it, but we also sponsored Horizon High School's boys soccer team again. They were district champs. Is that correct? District?
Yes, and regional runner-up.
District champs, regional runner-up. We sponsored some t-shirts for them as well. I can't find it. But anyway, so point is, it's recital season. So everybody dance with me this morning. Eric, dance over there.
I'm always dancing.
He's always dancing. Anyway, so I know, it's funny. Even some clients of ours the other day, I was talking to them on the phone, and we'll talk about their house in a minute because it's getting ready to go on the market. And they're like, yeah, we're busy, but we have a couple hours. We have to go see our granddaughter's recital. So it really does warm my heart. It's a very, it's still an exposed wound to me when I think about my situation, but I do so love that people encourage their kids to get into the arts. And you will do you and your family and your children a very big positive service if you involve them in the arts in some capacity, because it really does, it changes who they are, and I think it preps them better for the world that we live in, to be quite honest. Anyway, moving on, let's talk.
John Hickman has a question which leads you into what's brewing.
Okay, hold on. All right, hold on. Let me go here. So first of all, Susan, my daughter started her dance career with Miss Amy, and she passes on the love Amy taught her with her own littles now. Yes, you make me all cry. And Susan says she does totally recognize me. It does look like me, right? I mean, the picture, I'm going to have to say it does. I look exactly, well, I don't look exactly the same.
You should.
But I do. Like, it's me, right? Isn't that kind of cuckoo crazy?
Shirley Temple vibes happening there.
You know what? I did a solo every year, and I was Shirley Temple, and I sang on the Good Ship Lollipop. Yeah, I did. I was adorable, I'm sure. And then Susan says, shout out to Eric, who did the voiceover for our dance recital in Virginia this year. We love and miss you both so much. So Eric has, again, he for when I
have an announcer voice.
He does.
That I can put on at any time.
Yes, you do. And yes, you can, and it's very good. But Eric, and shut up. But Eric used to do the announcements for our recital, and the way it ended up working is that when I found out that I was moving here, it was, again, not going to talk about too much, but Miss Michelle was, she was a student of mine. I taught her since she was little. She grew up through my studio. She was an assistant teacher. Then she became a full-fledged teacher at my studio. I expanded my studio into 2 big rooms, so we were all teaching at the same time. And she was in the loop with what was potentially going on with me, moving to Florida, and what was I going to do with the studio, because those were my babies. Those students were my babies. And anyway, so Michelle opened up her own studio. We kind of transferred whatever students wanted to move forward with Miss Michelle. And this year was her 10th annual recital of Elevate, which is the name of her studio. So that's where Susan is, and Susan's daughter Sarah is a teacher there with Miss Michelle. It really does kind of come full circle, doesn't it? It's kind of cool. It's kind of amazing, but.
Maddie recognizes you.
Hi, Maddie. Oh my gosh, I feel like I'm Miss Rachel. Hello. Have you seen that? I just saw that the other day. I don't know. I have to get used to this new grandbaby stuff. But hi, Maddie. Hi, buddy. Oh my God, this is like, I just want to do this all day. Can I be the new Miss Rachel? Anyway,
I know this.
You know this, what? Anyway, so you said You said John has a question that leads us into what's brewing. Yeah. I did. Let me find. I put glasses on, guys. I'm sorry. I just can't see. Oh, John Hickman, the one. How was Manchester, New Hampshire?
Yeah. So we'll talk about that. But get to the crazy week.
Yeah. Let's go to what's brewing, shall we? Okay, so yeah, you're correct, Eric. That does lead us into this. So first of all, yeah, we had a crazy week. Always busy. We're just throwing into it a few extra little pieces. Grandbabies. But we also had my oldest son, Forrest, was here for 2 weeks. He came in town with his dog Scout to Daisy is the official dog of Disney's Backyard. Needs more training because she just whines and whines and whines all the time. She loves being outside. She also loves the sun shelf in the pool and loves to just lay down in it, and the bubbler, she just puts her face in it. So yeah.
Hello.
I
am a handful.
Oh, yes. But she's so cute. She is so cute. Anyway, so apologies, real life. So we had a crazy week. So Forrest was here. He left yesterday, back in Virginia, safe and sound. But that, Eric and I are both like, we always just feel so like let down when he leaves, because it's just, all of it's just reminders that your kids grow up and they move on and they have their own lives. And I know that's the whole point of it, but still. Anyway, so our crazy week. Let's show you about our crazy week, because this will answer
John's question.
Yeah. Okay. So first of all, there's you want to start yours first? You want me to go through ours first?
Well, I'll start mine first because it's the first. So that the picture of that big white building there.
Yeah.
That is the Equinox Resort. Mm-hmm. So John, I don't have any idea how Manchester, New Hampshire was, because I flew to Boston. I got in my rent-a-car, put in the directions, and I was going to Manchester, Vermont. So I'm not real smart.
No, guys, seriously, absolute true story. Eric flies out on Friday. He lands in Boston. He thinks he's got like an hour and a half drive or whatever to get to Manchester, New Hampshire for a speech he's giving, only to realize once he's landed in Boston and gets in the car that he's actually supposed to go to Manchester, Vermont. So yeah, that was kind of fun.
I'm not smart. I have to deal with these dogs.
You just deal with the dogs. It's fine.
Daisy, it's enough.
Oh, they're under my feet now. Hello, girls.
We're outside, so probably just getting the water.
Oh, it's fine. It's fine. But yeah, so that was fun. So nothing like flying somewhere, realizing you're supposed to be somewhere else. Thankfully, not too terribly far from each other. He still just had to drive a little extra time in the car. Unexpectedly, still did his speech. Rocked it, of course. And then he got back super late on Saturday night.
Yeah, this is the first one in a while that I do these, fairly regularly, and this is the first one in a while I didn't come back and go, remind me now, I don't want to do that anymore. Because that was just fun. It was fine.
Yeah.
It was good.
And for those of you who don't know, so part of why we moved to Florida from Virginia was Eric's, he worked for a company that did customer service training for like healthcare organizations, medical practices, and the like. And so the nature of his job was traveling. So that's what he would do. He would facilitate these workshops. Sometimes they were 1, 2, 3, 4 day workshops. Sometimes they were very involved. Sometimes it was just a speech here and there. So he is on a speakers bureau. So there are times when he still gets called out to go do these. And sometimes he'll come back and he's like, just remind me not to do that again.
Almost every time.
Well,
it's just a lot for it. I don't know.
I think you like doing them if and when it is like it's just a lot of hassle. Like when and this is part of, honestly, this is part of why we moved to Florida, because Eric was doing this even from Virginia that last year or two before we decided we just need to move to Florida because the base of the company that he was working for was here in Orlando. But when you travel for those speeches, it's not like you're giving one at the local town hall that's 30 minutes away. You go give the speech and come back home. I mean, it's travel, it's preparation, it's traveling the day before, it's accommodations, it's allowing for all of that, it's practicing the speech, and then sometimes it's a fair amount of money, and sometimes it's not as much, and then you just have to weigh, okay, well, how much did it actually cost me to go do the speech? How much did I make, and how much did that time away from us cost us? So I get it, but we're glad. Yeah. Honestly, honey, I'm glad that you get to do those every once in a while, because
this one was fun. I don't know why it was fun. It was a smaller audience, maybe, I don't know. And we talked about the differences in generations, and we talked about and my particular take on it is there's a lot of people complaining about the differences in generation. These young people come to the workforce today, etc. And my talk was about get over it. We have to deal with people as they are, because we got to get on with it. That's the point. So what else happened in the crazy week, Amy?
Yeah, so the other crazy week pictures. Where are we? Crazy week. Hold on, I got to find my pictures. There it is. I just need to keep my glasses on the whole time. So crazy week. So again, Forrest was here. You can see in the upper right, that's a little video. He's holding Elsie there. It was really nice. He was able to spend some time with with Allie and Hung and see Easton a little bit. And he went over to goodness gracious, Amy, wake up. Went over to Elizabeth and Steele's and was able to spend some time with Elsie. And there he is.
He's got the magic touch.
He does have a magic touch.
Him right
he sure does. If you look in the bottom right-hand corner, that's me. I got to feed Easton a bottle. Allie is, they came over here. We always said we can go there because we know it's easier, when you're trying to nurse babies and you've got all of your surroundings and everything around you at your house. But they were very sweet, and they brought Easton over to our house. Eric was a little bummed because, of course, this happened on Saturday when he was giving a speech. But because she was at our house for so long, there was an extra bottle that she had brought with her. So I got to I got to feed Easton a bottle. And then the other picture of the video down there in the bottom section is the video tours that we did of a new community. Well, actually the community exists and it's beautiful. It's called Trinity Lakes. It's out in Groveland, Florida. And this is the new section. Look at all that new land. All of those new home sites are allocated for Trinity Family Builders. Trinity Family Builders was formerly Hanover Family Builders. So if you got any experience with some of those Hanover Family Builder communities, which by the way, then Landsea acquired them. So some of the communities like Parkview at the Hills, actually more like Ridgeview. There was a couple of the communities, Ardmore Reserve. A couple of these communities were originally Hanover Family Builders. Landsea took over and acquired them, but they were still Hanover floor plans. But Trinity is where Hanover was, and so they have got this huge phase out there. So they have two models, the Lopez and the Hayden. So we have both videos. One was a beautiful one-story, one was a beautiful two-story. So lots of fun happening out there in Groveland in that community. And by the way, that is a community with a lot of incredible amenities. It's very... I don't know that it's quite as big or on the same scale as Waterley, but it does have a massive amenity center, and the community is so large they're building a second amenity center. Also has like a fishing pier, there's dog parks, the whole kit and caboodle. So if you want to maybe scooch a little bit further out, maybe digest the price point a smidge, and be able to build from dirt, could be a great opportunity. So certainly give me a call if you're interested in Trinity Family Builders out there in Groveland, or in any of the many, many, many communities that they've got officially kind of up and coming. So
and the Hayden tour now on YouTube.
The Hayden is the one. Okay, so
and the Lopez, based on what we'll talk about in a minute with so many listings coming up, the Lopez will probably be in a couple weeks.
Okay. All right, sounds good. Yeah, so the Hayden is up, and I guess that one was already posted, so you guys can take a look at that. All right, so anyway, so continuing with what's brewing. Market slowdown? Question mark. All right, so here's the thing. There's a lot of information on this, and Eric and I were just talking. It sure does seem like the market is slowing down. Foot traffic is slower. All of us are feeling it. I say us, I mean realtors that have listings. And here's a couple reasons why. If you look at this, the interest rates are still high. There's more inventory. So if there's more houses and there's fewer buyers, then, you may see this. It does feel very much like it's slowing down. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's slowing down. It just feels like it is. Price peak, we question whether or not, have we hit that here in the Horizon West area where it's just difficult from a buyer's perspective, right? As to with these interest rates not having gone down, their buying power has changed. They may have been waiting until those rates came down to actually be able to move forward on something. And since they didn't, what is that looking like for them? Are they just looking at things that are under 500,000, which can be a challenge, in which case are they scooting to other areas? And again, if you just kind of take a look at this is what's interesting. So if you follow the market update that we said that we have each week here on Coffee Time, the actual absorption rate, that 32 days on the market, is less than it was last week. So you
can actually push that other button that has
which one?
Not that one. Next one.
This one.
Right there. Yeah.
There you go. So so if you look at last week was 37 days. The average valuation estimate has not really changed, but if you look at the days on the market, the absorption rate rather, you can see that, right? So it's changed a little bit. You know, you just see those little ticks. I mean, in many ways, it feels very, very consistent, but there's other ways that it's not. In fact, let's take a look at this real quick. So a buyer's versus a seller's market. Sorry, I have to adjust here. Okay. So, you know, we talked about it. We're not really, at least from our perspective, we don't feel like we're in a buyer's market. We don't feel like we're in a seller's market. We just, hello.
It's the cat attacking the dog.
We feel like we're in a pretty balanced market. You know, it's hard for a seller to wrap their mind around the fact that it's taking longer to sell because there is more inventory. More inventory means a buyer has more choices. So not only do we have resale options and opportunities, but there's still a lot of new construction all around here in our little neck of the woods. So then you're competing with builders. Builders sometimes are offering those incentives, which is helpful when the interest rates haven't gone down, because maybe the builder is offering you a locked-in rate. Maybe they're buying down the rate. You know, the difference is, do they have completed inventory? If you're looking for a home that you need to have now, you know, you might be looking at a resale home. But because our inventory is higher, we actually have some new construction ones.
Go look, search for Tulio's question. You need to put a Q on it, but look for Tulio, because it's just about that very thing you're talking about. Did you find it?
Nope. Hold on. I was typing it in the top. I don't know if I can see it.
I'll come over.
You come over and find it.
I'll find it. You keep talking.
Let me go back over here.
I got it.
Okay, it's fine. But yeah, so if there's more inventory and then the buyer has more options, the time that people are focused on is when we had no inventory and everybody wanted to gobble up what was there. And that is when you were getting way over market value for your home. You had buyers that were waiving appraisals or offering appraisal gaps. They were definitely doing the escalatory addendums. They were sometimes waiving inspections. Don't ever recommend that you do that. But there were people that were doing that. There were some people that were obviously waiving the appraisal because they knew they were coming in way above market value. That time is not where we are. And it's just, it's a fluctuation of the market where we feel like we're pretty balanced at the moment. Did you find that?
Yeah.
All right. Do you think that with the market slowdown and the increased inventory of homes on the market, that this will allow for more wiggle room in negotiating new construction homes? No. No. New construction is a different beast. So here's the thing, and that's a really good question. This is in my opinion and in my experience. New construction is not in the business of negotiating. If there is a base price for a Lopez floor plan, and this is the cost for the exterior elevations, this is the cost for the structural options, that is not going to change. When you go to the design center and you pick your backsplash and your cabinets and your flooring and your fixtures, that is not going to change. Your closing cost incentives, the only thing that you might possibly be able to have any leverage in is asking for a little bit more in incentive. But even then, the answer is probably going to be no. However, if there is a completed inventory, excuse me, let's say that there's a quick move-in home, and that quick move-in home is 100% ready, like it's ready, like they're done. They have the CO, they have that certificate of occupancy on that home already. That's when you might be able to put in an offer for that inventory home and have maybe a little bit more wiggle. Because remember, once the builder has that CO on the property, they're paying taxes on that fully improved property, so they're a little bit more willing to get it off of their books and get it sold and have it become your responsibility. But no, honestly, new construction doesn't really work that way. You know, you don't get to go in and, you know, I know that the base price is $532, but I'd like to have the base price be $450. It's not really how it works with new construction. What you're probably going to see is a different in the incentive package, because that's really where the builder can play with things without really affecting the closed property values. Once those homes close, they can keep that value the same within the community.
I would like to point out too, though, that's where with new construction, I think having a realtor is very helpful, because if you walk in off the street and don't know what the incentives are, or what's, you know, what we call in their back pocket, sometimes they do have some wiggle on those incentives. But if you don't know, there's a lot of different ways those incentives work. So I always feel like your clients get the most incentive that is available. They at least have that peace of mind to know they got the most incentive available. So, you know, if you're thinking about new construction, Amy, give Amy a call at 407-848-8042.
No, that really is a good question. And a lot of times people think they don't really have the understanding that when you go in, and by the way, this is in my experience in my neck of the woods. Okay, if you live in a different area, in a different state, and their new construction process is different, then you go for it. But when you're talking about here in Disney's backyard, you're talking about in these areas that I service, no, I've never had a builder going to adjust the base price for you. They may adjust it across the board, but not for you. Unfortunately, we love you, but they don't love you any more than they love the whole community's value. So the only thing, because here's the thing, so keep in mind, and this is important. So when we're doing comps for clients, especially in communities where they are still selling actively, or they were selling actively as in a month ago, we have to determine that when a new construction home closed, it could have closed for a really nice high amount, right? So let's just say that home closed at $780. Woo, that's fantastic. So we're looking to see what we could potentially value our client's home at as a resale. What you have to factor in and understand is that builder may have had a $30,000 incentive on that home. So that even though it closed in the record books, it still says it closed at $780. That is fantastic. That is data. That is in the books. And you might think, oh, well, if they sold theirs for $780, then I can sell mine for $780 because it's the exact same floor plan, similar backyard. Yes, rational thinking would tell you absolutely, because there is a comp that says it closed at $780. But you have to understand then as a seller is that unless you've got $30,000 in your pocket that you're willing to kind of meet what that seller was able to offer, if you're going to be able to lock them in at a 5.99 interest rate, that is what made that home appealing, and that is what allowed that buyer to be able to close effectively on that home. Anyway,
Susan Forsgren has a question.
Susan Forsgren.
That it relates. The longer one, yeah.
Longer one. Okay, hold on. Okay. Oh, I see it.
I can help.
This one, my son-in-law just sold their rental house with the plan to roll the money into a larger home. He told me they are now waiting to buy now because of interest rates. You said you wanted to say something?
All I was going to say is, so if it's an investment property, the thing he wants to look at is the 1031 exchange program, which is essentially the capital gains tax for investment properties. So you've got 6 months to move any profit that they made from that house into another rental property, or they're going to have to pay taxes on the profit.
Is this going to be their primary residence, though, Susan? I know it was a rental, but she's saying they sold the rental.
Oh, maybe.
Is he looking to take the money from the sale of that? Call me, Susan. But like ultimately, if he's selling a rental property, right? Because he had a rental property, that's fantastic, by the way, to be so young and have a rental property. Kudos. If tried to sell that property and then take that money and roll it into a bigger home because he is now married and has a child, and I'm assuming this is who we're talking about, right? Is this a home for them that they're trying to get into a bigger home? Call me later and we can talk about it. Yeah, but yes, point is, that is exactly right. And that's what we're seeing all over the place. We're seeing a lot of people that once they've sold their home, they're like, we bought this when interest rates were really low, and we're just still at a point where, well, we sold it, but we can't seem to find anything that we like that we can afford. But we should be able to afford it. We can afford it a lot, but it's just not enough to get them what they want where they want.
Historically, even, we talk about buyer's market, seller's market, we're in a balanced market. Historically, rates are actually they're moderate. They're not they're not super high. It's just that prices are so high that it makes it very, very difficult. Well, but, and I think a lot of people have...
I wish the camera worked on you.
Yeah, no. Oh, well.
I'm looking at him.
Okay. A lot of people were waiting because they thought the Fed was going to lower interest rates a bunch this year, and they still may lower them later, but I think they were waiting, and then, so that's the other question, Susan, is if you wait, what happens if they don't lower interest rates this year? So, look at the difference in a half a percent going down, what that payment will be. And sometimes if you're making mortgage payments, or if you're not using that money somewhere, if you're going to rent the property out, whatever it is, it may cost you money to wait or not. It depends. And you can search for the best deal too.
It is definitely tricky. I mean, it's not easy. It's not a slam dunk. It very rarely ever is. but sometimes this comes with a little bit more, you have to have a little bit more of a nuanced approach, I think, to anything that you're doing in real estate, and have a clear understanding of what it is that you're doing, and when it's an investment property, or if it's a second home versus a primary, things like that. So,
and she said, yes, they're going to basically rent the one they're living in now, turn that one into the rental, and then make the other one the single family. I would say, call a tax advisor, because it depends on how much profit they made on the thing, but that's really a question for a tax advisor as opposed to a realtor. What you do with that money to maximize, and minimize your tax exposure.
Agreed. Yeah, absolutely. Very good. Very good, dear. Very good. Okay, so let me go back to my thing, because I don't think I got to
A lot of listings.
A lot of listings. Okay, so our third brewing topic is a lot of listings. So we're, again, on the market, we're talking about, the listings and the foot traffic. So we have two listings still active. Hawksmoor Bungalow, absolutely beautiful. A little devastated because there were, at one time there were actually 4, not all on the market at the same time. Exact same floor plan. One of them was on a corner, a little bit more desirable home sites. That was sold right away, or went under contract right away. Hasn't closed successfully yet. And then there were 3 other ones, all coincidentally the same floor plan. It was purely coincidence. One of the other ones ended up going under contract, and it was one that had solar panels. So in those scenarios, it was on the market for a long time. But sometimes when you submit the offer, you're like, look, we'll submit an offer, but the owner has to pay off those solar panels. We're not assuming a lease.
My suspicion is they gave that house away.
Yeah, and that's going to be bad, because if somebody gives the house away, that can affect the other ones. But we still have that beautiful bungalow here in the community of Hawksmoor in Horizon West. We also have one out in, interestingly, it is technically Claremont. That is the legal area, but it is in Mineola when it comes to the millage rate. So that's kind of, not Mineola, Groveland. So our
millage rate, for those of you at home that are not in real estate, it's tax rate.
Tax rate. So the Arborwood community, it is a 1-story floor plan, absolutely beautiful. Pretty slow foot traffic on that one recently. It was actually pretty good right away. Honestly, it's another one of those head scratchers. It's like, we had actually a showing on Friday. The feedback was, home was beautiful. It's priced really well. The backyard has an incline, and that was a deterring factor for his client. So those are things we can't control, right? As an agent, I can't regrade your land. I can't do some of those things, that we just have to deal with whatever, and that's going to be a problem. I had another listing that was in Claremont. Johns Lake Landing had the same thing, but it ended up selling, pretty quickly. So it's just, we just don't have control. Everyone has to understand that none of us are magic ball people. So we just don't know what is going to sell, when it's going to sell, and who that buyer is. All we can do is make sure that we give it the most maximum exposure possible, and that, we showcase it and we try to get those people in there. So, and then the third one,
on the third one, go to the just listed button while I go get the dog, because she's out there barking.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yes, for the third one, this one actually just went active. Here, we'll watch this. Okay, so this was a listing that just went active a couple of days ago. This is out in a community called Tallahassee. It is a Dreamfinders community out in Howey in the Hills, Florida. So I would say that from Howey in the Hills, it's maybe about 45 minutes to get to Disney-ish. It's a gorgeous home. So this home is massive, guys. You are talking 7 bedrooms, 4.5 baths. It has, on the first floor, it has a formal dining room. It has a formal enclosed office with glass-paned French doors. It also has that beautiful big kitchen, family room area. There's also a flex room that they use kind of as a little home gym in the back corner off of the kitchen, way back in that back corner. There's also the primary bedroom on the first floor that has French doors that goes out to that huge backyard. If you can see it, it's the one that's kind of on the edge of that curve. It'll loop back around. That's the first floor. Second floor has a massive game room. It has a media room. It has 2 sets of bedrooms, so 4 bedrooms, 2 sets of bedrooms with Jack and Jill bathrooms. So that's 4 bedrooms, both with Jack and Jill's. Then there's 2 more bedrooms, another big bathroom. Are you ready for this? I'm not done. 2 laundry rooms. There's a laundry room upstairs. There is a laundry room downstairs. And when I say laundry room, I don't mean a laundry closet. I mean a laundry room. It's like a nice sized laundry room, full washer dryer. Here's the kicker. It also has the opportunity for an upstairs second kitchen or really decked out bar, wet bar type option. So this is a massive floor plan, 5,036 square feet, I believe, 7 bedrooms, 4.5 baths. Again, this was just built a couple years ago. Really beautiful, small kind of, well, I won't say it's a small, but it's a nice size. Again, it's like the perfect little community size. It's not too big, it's not too small. No amenities in this community, but if you take a look at this backyard as this drone shot, all right, do you see that pool? It's the one that's kind of backing up to the pool. That's a huge backyard, lots of accessibility if somebody wants to put a pool in. Absolutely gorgeous home. So this is the newest listing, just went active. Look at that kitchen. Gas community. Is it a gas community?
I can't remember.
I can't tell. Let me look at that. No, it's not. It's electric. Yeah, it's also got the pot filler there. I mean,
this house has everything.
Everything. There's like glass cabinets in the kitchen. Like, it is so beautiful.
This house has everything. Spud web.
So if you are interested, this is what I think about this home. Number one, if you have a large family and you need all of that space, if you have a multi-generational type of a concept in your family, having the opportunity for a wet bar, kitchenette, and I don't mean like a built-in, like the size of a closet. I mean it's the size of a room upstairs that is tiled on the floor, and it has the plumbing for the kitchen. You can add that. They actually have a little mini makeshift thing up there now, but you could deck it out with an actual bar. There's just so many opportunities for this. So you could also think about, we've always been thinking about getting our own private vacation home. This is not short-term rental, okay? But people can use homes as their own private vacation home. People do it all the time. You're in a community where you can do that. That is huge because you can have all of those family reunions there, all of your multiple families coming and visiting and hanging out at Disney for a while. It's honestly, it's beautiful. It's a very large home. Loving that home.
That would be a flex as a vacation home to tell your family, yeah, I've got this huge, massive house we can go to anytime. So go to, and speaking of the 3 listings you have, go to You Know a Secret, and then Ben has a question.
Yeah, actually, I was going to click on Ben's right now.
That's fine.
Okay, I'm going to click on Ben's right now. Typically, how long does it take for builders to get a new phase for a given community, and how does that typically affect prices? So, Ben, that's a very good question. So, first of all, the way it typically works in new construction, whether it's a hot market or whether it's a slow market, is that they increase sales incrementally kind of as the community grows and as the community sells. So when you see a brand new community opening up, that's most likely the lowest those prices are ever going to be. So they'll open up phase 1. Once they get to a specified, completion or sold rate within that phase, that's when they'll start to release phase 2 or phase 3, kind of as it goes. A lot of it has to do with is the infrastructure there, because they may have phase 1 prepped and ready, and they may still have to wait for phase 2. We've seen that a lot lately. Parkview at the Hills with Lancy, they kind of stopped sales for a while because they had sold out of all the lots that they had. They were just waiting for the next phase to be prepped and ready, and the county to give them the go-ahead that they're allowed to start selling those. We also saw it in quite a few of the communities. Harvest at Ovation here in the Ovation Village in Horizon West, same thing. They had sold their front-load garage-style homes. They kind of had to pause those sales for a little while because they had nothing to sell. And then, once the county and the infrastructure and they get the go-ahead, they can start to release those phases. But let's just say an entire community is 100% prepped and ready. In answer to your question, they will release the next phase once they have hit a specific number of sold homes and have contracted on X amount of home sites in phase 1. Once they hit that mark, they'll open phase 2. Now, in answer to your second part of the question is how that affects pricing. That is definitely going to affect pricing. Sometimes builders will put every 3 sales, we do a $2,000 base price increase. Every 5 sales, we do a $2,000. Maybe it's every 10 sales. Maybe it's every 20 sales. That's going to depend on how hot the market is and how quickly they are selling. If they're not selling very fast, then you may not see any base price increases for quite a while. It may be very slow and steady, and that may be a little disappointing to the first people that purchased in there, expecting to have some equity in their home by the time they closed on it. But, we're just not seeing those prices escalate as quickly as we would like for them to, especially as they did like in some of the other communities. But so theoretically, it should increase. How fast those base prices will increase is going to be determined, by how the market is and how that community is selling. That's a really good question, though. Like that one, Ben. Thank you. Okay, so what else? Were you getting ready to say something else? Oh, I know a secret. I do know a secret. Where's my secret? Here it is. I found a secret. Okay, so here's the secret, the inside scoop here. We've got some new listings that are going to be coming on the market soon. Remember, I can't advertise too much of that too far in advance. I can just give you a little bit of a sneak preview of what might be coming. We have a one-story home in Lakeview Preserve. It is a beautiful Ashby floor plan by Pulte. If you don't know what the Ashby floor plan, man, it's a gorgeous, very large one-story floor plan, 3-car garage and a larger home site. Absolutely beautiful. That's going to be coming on the market very soon. We may even be talking about it more legitimately next week. We also, here in Horizon West, we have a dual master Lafayette. If you don't know what the dual master Lafayette is, go back to some of my videos. It is a Meritage floor plan. Absolutely gorgeous. It is in Watermark, which is a beautiful community. Probably, other than Waterley, has the most amazing amenity center and community feel. Lots of community activities there. The dual master Lafayette means there's 2 masters, 2 full-fledged masters. One on the first floor, one on the second floor. Again, great for that multi-generational living. Very large home. Very, 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 very large home. We'll give you those specifics. That one should be coming on the market soon. And then we also have an investment property that some clients of ours purchased out in Davenport that they're going to be putting on the market here soon as well. So lots coming up. So if any of these are piquing your interest, let me know. Otherwise, let's move on to some of our other stuff.
You know what, on a side note, who should buy that dual master Lafayette? Colonel Ross. Colonel Ross should buy that, and then they should all move in there together. That's all I have to say about that. Right?
They should. And that dual master Lafayette, by the way, is on a corner. It does not have a pool, but it has easy access if you wanted to build one. It has a great yard to build it too. It's also like steps away from the amenity center, so you could just cross the street and 2 streets and you're there. 3 streets. Anyway, was there something else you were going to say about that, or can I move on? Nanu is watching. Yay! Excellent. Hello. Yes. We were just talking about how amazing. I don't know if you were watching and you saw it, but we were talking about how amazing that house is. Your house is. It is absolutely incredible.
And I didn't mention, though, that Nanu's daughter will bake a batch of cookies for anyone that buys that.
Don't say that.
The best cookies I've ever had in my entire life.
Don't commit to that, but yes.
I bet she would.
Yeah, home is absolutely beautiful. So I think a lot about the different types of families that could do that. I mean, so here's the thing. We have 4 kids. When we were moving, we needed a home. That would have been like perfect for us. Each of the kids had their own bedroom. We still had extra guest rooms. We still had office space, but I didn't have to sacrifice, having the home gym. Like, seriously, it is absolutely an amazing home, an amazing floor plan. And by the way, when is that video going? Or tomorrow? Okay, good. So those of you watching, tomorrow, we are going to be featuring the video of that home out in Howey in the Hills. So you get to see it in all of its beautiful upgraded glory. Daisy wants to go. Was she swimming before? Oh, she sure was. She's wet. All right. Well, I'm going to move on. I'm just going to keep on going here. So let's move on to. Do I have a scoop? Yeah. I have a scoop. I have a scoop. Okay, tax-free holiday. So this is in Florida. This is disaster preparedness sales tax holiday. Guys, this is no joke. This is actually important. People are like, yay, tax-free. Okay, well, yes, that is true. And we're all excited about that. But the reason that we have that tax-free holiday is really important. The disaster preparedness, we're going to be approaching hurricane season. And while we always say, first of all, no one can control Mother Nature. But when you are living in Central Florida, which is where we are, you don't take the direct, initial brunt of a storm. It's either going to hit the Atlantic coast side, or it's going to hit the Atlantic Ocean side or the Gulf Coast side. So either way, it's going to have hit something before it comes to you. The disaster preparedness, however, is important. You really do need to take a moment in the course of all of the fun stuff that we think about and kind of get down and serious and make sure that you go utilize this holiday weekend. Get those flashlights, get those batteries, get those solar powered emergency radios, get your canned food, get your sundries, medications, things like that. Make sure you have a plan. It really is important to kind of take note of that. So, Eric, did you want to chime in?
And you said weekend, but it's 2 weeks.
It's actually 2 weeks. Yeah, I just looked at it. I was like June 1st through June 14th. So, yeah. So you have 2 weeks. And this is great. It's time, if you've got a Sam's Club or a BJ's or a Costco membership, go ahead and go out. I know I'm going to be hitting that pretty soon. We'll get your water, get your toilet paper, get your paper towels, get your canned foods, get things like that. And again, just make sure that you're prepped and ready. Ziploc bags are great. Make sure you have just all of the stuff. I mean, take a screenshot of this and kind of take a note and take heed to that. It's not to scare anybody, but having gone through Hurricane Isabel in Virginia, of all places, Isabel kicked our butt, and it was about 2 weeks that we didn't have power. It was like 10 days that we didn't have power. And it just sat right on top of us, and we literally saw tree after tree after tree fall on all of our neighbors' houses. It's a real thing, and so it's just important to go and just make sure that you have that, because at one point, kid you not, I was boiling water on our grill to make spaghetti.
Yep.
Because we were out of food. So it's like, I was like, well, we're going to ruin the pot, but we'll boil it and we'll have some spaghetti pasta noodles. So, yes, sir.
I just thought you were like, get this, get that, get your toilet paper, whatever. And I thought you were going to go for the greatest segue of all time.
It is the greatest segue of all time.
I knew it was coming.
It's coming.
Oh, now come on, Amy, tell me what's the word.
TP. Yeah, stands for toilet paper. So that was a pretty good segue, right? That was pretty good. So this is true, and this is interesting, and this may shock some of you. So you might notice that in some of the new construction homes, you might be missing a few features. One of them is a toilet paper holder, towel bars. Things like that are not necessarily in a new construction home anymore. It can be a shocker. I know it was not going to be included in our home because it was like $60 or $80 for a toilet. It was $85 for a toilet paper holder to be installed, and I was like, no, thank you. No, thank you. I do think it's important to know that, because the funny thing is, and we'll talk about them in wishes, we just had some clients close on a beautiful home. So excited for them. They're heading back to Colorado now. They came here, they closed on their home, and they're scooting back, and then they'll be here shortly full time. But they sent the sweetest little message. I think it was probably an oversight, but we just noticed as we were in our home that there's no toilet paper holders and there's no towel bars. So I'm sure they forgot it. And you know what? It occurred to me that's a great conversation. It's a great topic here for coffee time. Don't expect for your home to have those things anymore. Now, here's the reason. And first of all, it drives me absolutely bonkers. It's like, come on, you're building a home. I don't care how much your home is, $100,000, $1 million, you should have a toilet paper holder and a towel bar. It should just be included. Yeah. I get it. So for me as a consumer, I'm like, that's just ridiculous. However, from the builder's perspective, because I hear and see and do this all the time, from their perspective, and I have had clients saying, hey, is it possible for you to not install the toilet paper holders because I want my own kind, like I want my own taste, I want my own flair. And that becomes a problem, because if the builder says, sure, I won't install them, well, you understand then that is opening up a door to a problem, right? Because if those things are delivered because they are included with a home and they're laying in the house, the tradespeople put them up. They're not reading your contract. So now all of a sudden you do your walkthrough and they're like, well, we told you not to install the toilet paper holders. And they're like, so then they have to take them down. They got to call the drywall crew. They got to patch it. They got to repaint it. And so they basically just stopped including them because so many people were like, can you not install them? So just as an FYI, if you are building a home, you may or may not have that as an included feature. And funny story, toilet paper's on the brain today. Today at my daughter's home over down the street, she actually has someone coming to reinstall the toilet paper holder. Her design package did have them because it matched the hardware that she chose. So the builder did install it. They did a really poor job of installing it because the first time you put the toilet paper roll on it, it fell right out of the wall. And so they're there today fixing it, or at least they should be at some point in time. So we're going to talk about some of my pet peeves with builders and warranties very soon, because I kind of have had it, right? And we'll talk about that on a different day. But for now,
our son-in-law just texted me and said that he and our daughter might be interested in the property in Howie in the Hills, which would be smart, but no. It's a little further away from us, but yeah, right? You know, we'll see.
What?
Is
that because mom and dad are coming?
Oh, that's it?
Is mom and
I don't know.
dad
We have to
coming?
talk to him about it.
All right, we'll talk to you. We'll talk later. Okay. Oh, man.
It's a nice house, though.
Oh, Elizabeth said they fixed it right before you started. Okay, good. Very good. Excellent. Now, if they'll just come screw in her dishwasher.
Right? That's another topic next week.
Another topic for next week. So next week, would you everyone remind me, if we don't put it on our little playlist here, remind me next week to talk to you about dishwasher.
Susie Q mentioned Susie Q talking about her.
Our builder put them in, or you could opt out. However, note the placement, as sometimes the toilet paper holder can be reached when the bathroom is too large. I know. It's like sometimes they put it all the way across. It's like you have to lean off of the toilet to reach the toilet paper holder. So, and that, by the way, true story, part of that, Susie Q, is because if they mount the toilet paper holder to the left of you, if there's a cabinet there. So first of all, imagine you're on a toilet, okay? This is imagine. So to the right of you is the tub or the shower. To the left of you is the counter with the sink. So the only place that they can install that is either in front of you, too far away, or to your left on the cabinet. If they mount it to the cabinet, that voids the cabinet's warranty. So that's why they don't mount them there anymore. So do you hear that dog? Do you hear her?
She's wet again, so I gotta go on.
All right, go dry her off again, dear. Anyway, so yeah, so true story though. So that's part of it. You know, and on that note, we have a lot of people that also ask us about, they want to do custom cabinets custom closets as soon as they move in. And so sometimes they ask the builder if they cannot install the wire shelving. You're going to get mixed messages on this. Some builders are like, no, it has to be included or we won't pass our final inspection without it. And then some builders are okay to not do that. So that's always a good question to ask, but don't be surprised if they say no. Most of the time they have to say no because there are certain elements of the home's construction, and it could vary by county, which is why we get different answers. But yeah, in some cases I lost my train of thought. And in some cases, you know, they can't do that. I see one word, bidet. Okay, John, that's funny. One word. Game changer. That's funny. Very good, very good. Yes, Elizabeth, yes. Do you see what happens? We have no one here to man the dogs right now, so they're absolutely ruining this. And yes, Daisy is very vocal. Yes, and then, something fell back there. I'm sure they want to share that room with the two of you. Anyway, all right, guys, so let me keep going here. Let me see what we got. I have what I'm watching. Okay, so.
What you're watching is Daisy, annoying dog. Oh, Disney's backyard.
Oh, Disney's backyard. Okay, so I just finished 1883. So if you watched last week, I think last week was the one I was doing, 1923. Stumbled on this, right? I tend to just go to Netflix. I am a creature of habit. I don't like to explore. I'm afraid if I push the wrong button on the remote, I'm never going to get back to what it is that I want to watch. But I did venture into the Amazon Prime. Or the Prime, what was that what it's called? Amazon Prime? Whatever. And that's where 1923 was. And I watched that, loved it. And then I just stumbled on 1883, which actually happens prior to that. Absolutely phenomenal, both of them. So if you don't have, like if you've got a long weekend or you're feeling a little under the weather or the weather's not cooperating or you've got some time off, Both of those I highly, highly, highly recommend. 1883 and 1923. Fantastic. Anyway, moving on. And I think there's also a season 2 of 1923, but it's not out yet. So anyway, so moving on, going back. All right, any other questions? Oh, and then Lisa says that was a great series. Did you watch it too? Yeah, see, I'm loving it. Laura says we use a toilet paper holder that hangs over the cabinet door. So yeah, a lot of people do that. A lot of people have the freestanding one. That's what we did. And then I just went out and bought a bunch of them and had to pay somebody to install them, which is, by the way, it's just absolutely ridiculous that you should have to do that,
and
right?
John Hickman has a suggestion.
I already saw that one.
Okay.
You were outside when we did that.
Okay, cool.
You missed it, dear.
All right, that is a game changer, though.
It is. From
Japan.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a thing. I think I got everything. Did I do everything today?
No.
No?
I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know. I think I did everything today. Let me see. Were there any other?
Did you do wishes?
Oh, I didn't do wishes. I'll do wishes.
There you go.
I do want. Yeah. I also wanted to give baby updates because I know people were asking. So yes, everybody is fine, happy, healthy. Allie and Hong Easton is a little over a month now, if you can believe it. He is smiling at the men in the family, not so much the women. But will smile.
And apparently he lives in Howie in the Hills now.
Stop. But he, every once in a while I look at myself and I see my sister. Sure. I just caught a little glimpse of myself. Jennifer.
Yeah.
Every once in a while I look at myself and I'm like, oh my God, I look like Jennifer. Isn't that weird? Anyway.
For those of you that don't know, Jennifer looks like Jodie Foster and Amy looks like Meredith Baxter Burney. So those are the things we swing between.
We swing between.
Yes.
No, I thought. Anyway, doesn't matter.
Jennifer looks like Jodie Foster.
Okay. Anyway, see, I did it again. It's the way I hold my mouth. I just caught myself. Anyway, so what was I getting ready to say? Baby. So yeah, Easton is smiling in response to his dad, and I'm sure to Allie as well, and definitely to Eric. So he's super cute. Both babies are getting a little tummy time. Elsie, eyes are so giant. She's got the biggest eyes, just absolutely gorgeous. So she's got that head full of dark hair. Her eyes are kind of all over the place. So she's starting to focus in. And both of them are just the best snuggles ever. I'm absolutely in love with both of them. And it's both wonderful to be a grandparent, and I'm also really kind of sad because it just reminds me that my time of being able to do that is over. So I don't know how you all feel about being grandparents, but I'm very sad about it. I mean, I'm happy, but it just kind of, it just reminds me that time marches on. So anyway, all right, I think I got baby's asking for the car keys yet. No, Rob, not not yet. Wishes. All right, yeah, I'm gonna do wishes. Okay, so we have our wishes for today. We have Amy and Mike who are going to be closing on their gorgeous home out in Windermere on Thursday. Josh and Melissa just contracted. Woohoo! And here's the thing, guys. They submitted an offer on a home. It's a good offer, by the way. Did not get accepted. And that was a little bit of a bummer because I'm not real happy with the agent on the other end of that because they basically...
Yeah, let's talk about that one. I mean, we can talk about it now, but let's talk about it next week. I wanted to talk about that because I think that agent might be new and did something that there's nothing wrong with what they did, but it was not cool.
Well, it was a little uncool. But anyway,
we'll talk about that next week.
Yeah, but anyway, we found another house. Josh and Melissa, congratulations. They are under contract now for a beautiful home out in the Independence area here in Horizon West. And then Shelly and Dennis, we're so excited for them. So we had... I don't think we put that in our wishes last week, but first contract out there in Ridgeview with Trinity Family Builders. So super excited for them. And then we also have our picture. Oh my goodness, Leanne and Corey, we're so excited. They closed on their beautiful home by Taylor Morrison out in Harvest Ovation. They closed on, was it Friday? I think it was Friday. I don't know what the days are. Absolutely beautiful. So excited. And by the way, I want to really thank Caroline, who works with Taylor Morrison there, to help get them. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. Okay, so back to, who had the question earlier? Was it Ben? Somebody had the question about affecting pricing. Negotiation, yes. So in this case, this is the perfect example, guys. So in this case, This inventory home was completed. It had been completed. It was beautiful. It was already ready for somebody to close on it in like right then. It was that done and that perfect and that just ready to go. My clients wanted the home, but they had a contingency to close on their existing home. There was a couple of little hurdles we kind of had to go through, which typically would not be desirable for a builder and would not really be something that they would be willing to accept when they have a completed home. However, it had been on the market for a little while. We knew that it was completed. Everything around it had sold. It was just that one, and it was gorgeous. I'm like, why is it not selling? The reason it wasn't selling is because waiting for my people. But because of that, we were able to negotiate a little bit. We were able to get some additional things. We were able to get some better pricing. And all of that leads to, we were only able to do that and get that because the builder was anxious to go ahead and get that one under contract. And so now not only was it under contract, but it closed, and we're super excited for them. They'll be here shortly full time, so we're super excited.
Just no toilet paper holders.
Just
Innovation.
No toilet paper holders. Nope, none of those. All right, none of those things. Maybe I should buy them that as a closing gift or something. Anyway, all right. Is that it for us, dear?
Sure.
I think no, weather. Let's do weather.
Do weather if you want.
Because we got to do weather because it's just Florida. Okay, so if you live anywhere else other than here, I'm so sorry. This is our forecast for the week. It is absolutely amazing. So today it's going to be 90 degrees, tomorrow 93, Wednesday 94, Thursday 95. It just goes up and up and up, and then Saturday it's going to come back down. Sunday
let's come back down. 95.
But can we just talk about how glorious it was on Saturday? Saturday was absolutely beautiful. It was one of the nicest, most beautiful, low humidity, Saturday morning. Well, you weren't here, but it was beautiful here. It was crisp. It was really, really, really lovely. You could sit outside and just, it was amazing.
I spent some time thinking about that while I was in Vermont. It was a beautiful day in Vermont. It was 78 degrees. Perfect. And everybody's out walking around, and it occurred to me, sometimes I think we take our beautiful weather for granted because I think in Vermont, they earn those days. You know what I mean? The winter and all that stuff. Everybody's so happy there. Here we're like, oh, it's 85 degrees and sunny and perfect again. So we should appreciate that more.
Yeah. No, absolutely. You're right. Although I will say it's beautiful. It's fantastic. It's very rarely do you ever have to wake up and question what you have to put on for the day, right? Which I know in some places you wake up, you're like, what's the weather today? Do I need a jacket? Do I need long sleeves? Do I need pants? Do I need a tank shirt, flip-flops, boots? What am I wearing today? Here it's pretty consistent that way, which is a good thing. It's also a bad thing if you ask me sometimes. It's like I wouldn't mind the little change, but point is, it's beautiful summer weather, and that's where we are now in the seasons. It's in summertime. So all right, so I think with that we're gonna skedaddle. I got some appointments today, a very big and busy day, lots of clients, a few showings, lots of stuff happening. Just as an FYI, again, tomorrow we'll be showing that video of the home out in Howey in the Hills, already on the market now, so you can go take a look at that if you're interested. Don't forget to give me a call at 407-848-8042. Where's the wrap up? There it is. 407-848-8042. Don't forget, we also have that gorgeous bungalow here in the Hawksmoor community in Horizon West. Absolutely beautiful. Actually just reduced the price now. So that actually I think is going to make a big difference too. We have the one out in Groveland. It says Claremont, but it's technically Groveland. Big 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 1-story floor plan, big backyard. So if you're interested in any of those listings or any of the upcoming ones that we kind of hinted to, give us a call, 407-848-8042. As always, guys, we absolutely love you. Love seeing your names pop up over here. Daisy loves you too. Look, she came to say goodbye. Look at that. Oh my gosh, she's so cute. All right, with that, we'll see if we can end it. With that, everybody, please stay safe, stay well. Remember, we love you guys. We'll see you next week. Happy house hunting. Bye.